for a service, and Garey defends him very well and knocks the ball out. As now Bosco really trying to add a little bit more pressure in this half as David Rodriguez kind of stepped up after Macias lost that ball and still went past him after he won the ball back for the Braves. And a throw-in and a substitution now coming up for Bosco as Proust will make his way back to the bench along with Alfred Molina. Gill back into the mix for the Braves, as well as Marcelo Frasca, the first time he's been into the game this afternoon. No score here in the 27th minute from Bosco Tech Institute in Rosemead, California. Your St. John Bosco Braves are all tied up 0-0 between the Garey Vikings out of Pomona, California. First meeting between these two high schools in soccer. So Garey now trying to work something as the volley served very high in the air to the far side of the field. Nothing for Bosco to be too concerned about as they floated out of some pressure. And Garey now works and earns their way, and it looked like it was going to be a corner kick for Garey, and it was actually off of the Garey player, and it is a Bosco goal kick here in the 26th minute. Coach David Sabat kind of pacing along the sidelines here, expecting his team to come out victorious, is what coach doesn't expect their team to come out victorious, but went off a nice season last year, a 13-win season. They did lose in the third round of CIF competition. As a goal kick now sails all the way up right before midfield, and Garey wins that ball. Possession now for Garey on the far side of the field. And the Vikings kind of pushed off of the ball as Sarmiento just strong-armed his way through that Garey defender or offender at that time, and a call for a foul. Now Garey working possession on the near side of the field. Playing a much better half here is Garey, and Bosco looking like the flatter team, if you will, out of the second half, and trying to work some possession here. Sarmiento now on the ball, and really a bad first touch, and he gives up the ball immediately. Garey now trying to create something offensively, and Bosco wins the ball back, and it is a service to Gill along the far side of the field. That ball is too far out of bounds. Possession now goes back to Garey after a throw-in. The far side of the field, there is an unmarked man along the near side of the field for Garey. He's kind of floating into the box by himself, but right now Bosco wins the ball back. Clears it out of harm's way, and Bosco still strong on the ball there. Garey's trying to muscle their way in. That is Alfred Molina. And a ball off of a Garey forward, and the coaches on Bosco's side trying to really pump them up a little bit as they're kind of caught flat so far in this second half. As I say that, Gill works his way to the ball and earns the possession and tries to dance along that sideline. He showed some great energy in the first half as well, because he was out. He was substituted out of the game after right before the half ended. He's a 5'8", 160-pound junior for your Braves. Right now, Bosco Sarmiento with a strike right outside the 18-yard box. Ball is bounced back out and hammered in from his left foot. That was Alfred Molina. Sails out of bounds for a Garey goal kick. Goal kick now. Worked his way back all the way up to Gill in the offensive third for Bosco. And Sarmiento now on top of the box and lets one go with his left foot as deflected out of harm's way for Garey. And now Bosco working the possession game in the attacking third. And the ball sails out wide to the left side and untouched really, but Ball deflected off of a shot attempt by the Braves. As that was Marcos Garcia with the shot attempt for the Braves, and unfortunately deflected by the defense. And Logan Martinez now steps up from the backfield and plays the ball down the right side of the field to Gill. And service inside the box, nothing doing, and just wide of the goal there was Marcos Garcia after a nice service in by Gill and a deflection that landed on Garcia's foot. He just sailed it just wide left of the goal. So 0-0 it remains here from Bosco Tech and Rosemead. As Tony Orihuela makes his way back onto the field. Excuse me for that pronunciation. Alex Olmos steps off to the bench in the 21st minute here. No score from Bosco Tech Institute High School in Rosemead. This is a preseason tournament, the Tech Winter Soccer Tournament here. As Garey and St. John Bosco match up for the first time. And a through ball for Garey floats all the way back up through the defense, and Koba with the easy save for Bosco. Wasn't even really much a save, I should say, but just stepped up off his line to gather that ball. Bosco now with a free kick after a foul committed by Garey right at midfield. As they're trying to work some possession here. In the last few minutes did not look too good from Bosco, but David Rodriguez and his teammates really just looking to find some spark. I say Rodriguez because he just had a nice turn there and a use of a switch of a field for Bosco as they're trying to work the ball collected and switch the ball across the field throughout this game, and been successful at times, and other times they're really just trying to defend well and have some sort of options up top, because right now it's kind of back and forth as far as possession, and Bosco really dominating in the first half with the possession. This half they came out a little flat-footed, so to speak, so Bosco now on the attack as defender steps up. Yeah, the ball is whistled dead for a foul. And it will be a free kick for Bosco. So Bosco now with a free kick, and it looks like it will be Rodriguez to hit it. And he stands over the ball and serves it in a line drive kick from about 50 yards out. And off the post it goes, and back into the net for Bosco as a rebound off of the right side post for St. John Bosco. And they're up 1-0 here in the second half. And I believe that was Marcos Garcia. Quickly played that ball off of the post and back into the Garey net. So 1-0, Bosco leads after Marcos Garcia finds the back of the net off a rebound. So just the energy they need here, Bosco, after somewhat of a flat start in the second half, gets a nice little spark here in the 18th minute in the second half. These are 40-minute halves here in preseason tournament play, as Garcia just did a nice job really responding off of that post and just making sure it went back into the danger zone, and it was successful in reaching the back of the net for the Braves. So 1-0 your score here in the 18th minute from Bosco Tech in Rosemead, as the Braves dominating the game in possession overall, but Garey with a much better performance here in the second half as they're looking to really just counterattack their way to a goal, and right now it's not working for the Vikings, and a little bit of a hold there and a call on the goal scorer, Garcia. It was a Garey free kick, and quick free kick for them does not do well as Bosco hammers the ball back upfield. We're inside 20 minutes here from Bosco Tech in the Tech Winter Tournament, preseason tournament here for your St. John Bosco Braves. Before league play begins in the Trinity League, their first matchup in league play will be at Santa Margarita on January 9th. Referee says play on after Garey commits a foul on Bosco. There's a new substitution in. Luis Espita is into the game. Sophomore, 5'4", 130 for the Braves. There's Garey playing the long ball again. Kind of surprised that their coaching staff hasn't really mixed anything up yet as far as plan of attack. When your long ball hasn't worked so far, especially against this back four of your Bosco Braves. Plan is to switch things up, and so far they have not done so. So a throw-in now for Bosco. Tice Lohman with a long throw-in for the Braves, and right now one-on-one down the field for Garey and St. John Bosco. Bosco playing defense and finally pushes it out of any harm's way. As Peter Torres played some brilliant defense there on the Garey's forwards. Sarmiento now committing a foul as he tracks back and tries to play defense for the Braves. He's at central mid right now. They do line up as a 4-1-4-1, and Coach Savin mentioned at halftime. And the only attacking forward for the Braves is Gill up top, right at midfield. A free kick now for Garey. Service into the box. That's headed out of pressure. And Bosco now, the ball all the way up to midfield. As they're up 1-0 here after a goal by Marcos Garcia. We just tapped it in after a knock off the post. First ever meeting between Garey and St. John Bosco. Your Braves doing battle with the Vikings out of Pomona, California. The ball on the far side of the field now for Garey. And Bosco's coach, David Sabat, really letting his players know they're still a little flat in the second half as they do give up the ball now. And Garey trying to create something offensively, holding off the Bosco defense right now. And there's a player that is down for Garey. Referee says play on. The player is still down. He has a forward for Garey. As Garcia now, the goal scorer, attacks on the near side of the field. Almost kind of a mishap on a shot. Referee still does not know or realize until now that the Garey player was down on the field the entire time. So a little injury pause for a second here. Your Braves up 1-0 here from Bosco Tech in Rosemead. The Winter Tech Soccer Tournament, they call it here, is the Braves winning last night against San Gabriel out in LA 3-1. They do play Woodrow Wilson tomorrow. I believe that is still part of this tournament. As ball is back in play now, and a service all the way down the field for Garey, as they have been playing the long ball all afternoon long here. And they dance around the Bosco defense and very close to a corner kick, and it is officially a corner kick for Garey. I believe that is the first one of the afternoon for them. And a service into the box and a header just wide, but they maintain possession here. Service back into the box, and that's punched back out by Koba. And Garey now still with the ball right outside the 18-yard box, trying to penetrate that box and make its way in. And